Hey everybody, GL1 here, and welcome to my... Hello everybody, GL1 here, and welcome to my online museum. And today we're going to look at the Heroes Goo-Jitsu Goo Shifters. And this one is the Primal Rockjaw Primal Hero Pack. And what I wonder about this is, why are they so expensive? So I got this for $5 on Prime Day because there's no way I was going to spend $20. And I think all of them are overpriced, but they must both sell well and not well because there's a lot of them out there and they also go on clearance quite often. But this one, you can transform the goo with something inside that you squeeze, and we'll find out, crush the core and find out what that does, because I have no idea. And as you can see inside, it's very liquidy, and it's supposed to stretch 3 times its size. And then, all right, so there's a bunch of other guys you can get. And, well, we're going to find out all about this. So let's open them up. All right. So that was simple. Didn't have to use anything sharp, which I was concerned about doing because I don't want anything sharp near it. All right, so here it is. It is squishy, and he's got a hard head, and you can open his mouth, and he can chomp. And all right, so he can stretch. All right, so I guess that's fun. All right, well, let's move on with the fun. Let's squish the core. So we're going to squeeze the core, and I guess these beads are supposed to come out. Let's see how easily this is going to happen. So far, no good. Am I supposed to find a seam? There's a seam. There you go. So there's a seam. And let's crush the core. I don't want to rip it or something. So, yeah, are we having fun? Huh? Any of you guys have this much fun yet with one of these? Trying to squish the core? Find out what is supposed to happen here? Gee, well, that's not easy. I'm going to take a look at the instructions again. Maybe there's something I'm missing. No, I'm not missing anything, except that, all right, I'm supposed to crush this 9 times and then wait 4 hours or more to transform the goo. All right, well, I don't want to dig my nails into it. All right, that was 9, but I don't think I broke anything. Let's find that seam again. It's not so simple. There, okay. Okay, there we go. You know, it was about 9 times once I got the seam. All right, I'm going to squeeze that through. All right, well, the goo is now dark green, so we're going to have to wait 4 hours on that. But while we're waiting, those of you that like stretchy things, I've got something really stretchy to show you. All right, well, you've seen them before. It's 1970s Gumby. But they came out with a Stretch Armstrong like Gumby, and here he is, much bigger and, you know, kind of stretchy. However, even though I put him in a Ziploc bag for months and kept him, in a dark, cool place, hoping that that would maintain his stretching integrity. It did not. What happened is his arms especially got really hard, and they would the substance inside would crack, and now it's in pieces. And the body, though you can still bend it, it is not flexible. Now, what I discovered because I thought maybe if I put him in hot water, he'll liquefy inside and I can work him and stretch him all over again and get him back to his original Stretch Armstrong like stretchy thing. And maybe you don't know who Stretch Armstrong is. Well, I'm going to show you. But in any case, what's important to note is that it did not work. He is not... Now, it did work when he's hot. That you put him in the hot water, he does get stretchy again. His arms, the pieces come back together and become like a semi-fluidic substance that you can stretch. But he does not go back to his regular stretchy self. So, disappointing, but he probably still should be kept in a Ziploc bag because the silicone outer layer will begin to dry out and crack. So let me show you Stretch Armstrong. So in the 70s, there was a character named Stretch Armstrong. I don't think it was associated with any comic book or cartoon, but it was just a stretchy toy, and there was a nemesis guy that was kind of like a lizard. They also came out recently with a small one. Now, this is clearly the same as the Gumby, because not playing with him, though in a Ziploc bag, he has now gotten very hard and feels brittle-ish. Now, the outside is stretchy, but I feel like I could actually tear his silicone outer layer from this hard, the way the substance inside him has gotten hard and a little bit sharp. So, but that's your mini Stretch Armstrong, and what was that, 2016, all right, and now it's not really playable anymore. But you're in luck because I have a big old Stretch Armstrong, and I never played with him. I just kept him right in the bag, and here he is. And Stretch Armstrong, kids loved it because you can pull him and stretch him. And you can pull his arms and stretch him, and it's this gooey substance inside. See that? And you can just bend him around. And the thing is you push on him like this, and he's very soft. But if you punch it, it's really hard, like a rock, almost. So that's what kids would do. Is I remember in the 70s when kids got Stretch Armstrong, sometimes they would fight with their siblings, and they would swing the Stretch Armstrong into them, and tears and crying would ensue because not so soft when you smack somebody with Stretch Armstrong. So, yep, 2019. All right, this guy's been sitting around for 4 years waiting to show you. All right, so that's Stretch Armstrong. You can see he's got a lot of abs, and I wish they came out with the lizard guy again, but I didn't see him. And I know this time they came out with a group of Stretch Armstrong-like toys, like a truck and some other characters, but they were just rubber. They were just the silicone. They didn't have this fluidic, stretchy substance inside. So what I don't know is, now that I've played with him and kind of pulled him out, is he going to end up like Gumby? I don't know, but I am going to put him back in the bag in a cool, dark place, and hopefully he will always stay this way, and you just pull him out and stretch him around and show him to people, and they're like, ooh, it's Stretch Armstrong. I remember him when I was little. And then, you put him back. I have one more stretchy thing to show you. All right, so back in 2003, 20 years ago, Jakks Pacific came out with this toy. Now, the legs are solid, and but the upper body is silicone, and it has a metal spine and joints inside, and they move with the same limitation as real human beings. So you can actually, he has like a collarbone, put his shoulder up or down. He can flex his bicep, and you can actually kind of, really looks like that the rubber is, or the silicone is actually flexing, and stretch that out, and then he'll stay in position. And these were, probably around $10. And the first group I got, they fell apart. I opened it up, and then within a very short period of time, the silicone began to degrade and wear out. And actually, you can see it's starting to split right here. So a client of mine is a scientist, and he said, well, you got to keep it in a plastic bag. And that's why he's not so bad, because the first batch I had, and I have some other wrestlers like this. I have Booker T and The Rock and RVD, but they're all the same. They're just, the skin tones are different, but they're all the hard legs and everything, and the soft body that you can squeeze. All of those are in good condition now. The first batch, they just completely fell apart. I tried to get a refund after about a month. I said, hey, these things, they've fallen apart. They would not support it. They said, well, that's just the way it is. And I'm like, well, that's not fair. So I bought another set, and I kept them in a Ziploc bag. And so he's been doing a lot better, right, for the last 20 years. And just sad to see that that's starting to tear. See here, also there. But hopefully, by keeping him in the bag, he'll be all right. Well, I'm going to have to wait a while, right? 4 hours. And we're going to find out what's going to happen with this. So I'll continue that video then. And we'll see what happens, right? All right. So I am back. It is 7 hours later. Because I kept waiting to see what was going to change. And so, as you can see, it went from a very viscous liquid, very clear, sort of yellowy green, to a dark green. But the little beads that burst out of this little pink, like heart-like organ, which remarkably the package said to squeeze 9 times, and it really was 9 times, and then they burst out. Well, all those little blue beads turned into these big green jelly-like beads, as you can see. Now, the viscosity is still the same, meaning it's still the same liquidy feeling. It's not thicker really in that way. It's just now that it has these big green beads in there. So its ability to stretch and go back to its shape is just the same as it was before. Unlike Stretch Armstrong, I thought what might happen is it would become a thicker liquid, and then when you pull it, it would slowly go back to its shape. Now, I remembered a little story about my first Stretch Armstrong, and my little sister sometimes would get mad about things. And it had nothing to do with me. She would just get mad. And if you've ever wondered what is inside or what it looks like inside Stretch Armstrong, well, I remember she got mad about something, and she took a comb and she jabbed it into my Stretch Armstrong and tore it. And there was like this clearish, yellowy fluid inside that was very thick. And as it turns out, what it is it's a gel cornstarch. So I remember being really sad that she ruined my Stretch Armstrong, but I know it wasn't anything personal. It's just one of those things that happen. And I'm glad that I have a Stretch Armstrong again. Well, this fella here reminded me of another toy that I have. And if you remember from episode 201 on the Imperial Toy Company rubber toys from Hong Kong, I showed you this toy, which is a frog. And you can see inside, you see he's got his intestines. And then on the other side, you can see his lungs. And they're actually like kind of liquidy inside. And I don't know if we can see his brains, or let's try to hear that. Yeah, maybe his brains. Yeah, I think that's his brain right there. So anyway, it's similar, and this is, gosh, really old, like, 20, 30 years old. And then, similar idea. This is a little bit thinner. And, these are big jelly-like beads. And if you've seen any of the rubber toys like this that are about $3. I recently got this. Is This is a Mosasaurus. It has the they're little tiny white soft rubber beads inside, and this is stretchy. And this is also made by the Imperial Toy Company, so in Hong Kong. So yeah, all right. Although now it's Hong Kong, China. So all right. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that and learned something about these things. And I still don't understand why they are so expensive, but they are kind of cool, and hopefully they last a long time. So I will be seeing you soon. Take care.